Well, I love my life. I love my body. I love myself. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to Tantra. I'm with Dr. Nikki. How's it going? We're gonna do a podcast whilst in a live stream, and I've got my radio voice on, so I might be a bit quiet on this. So let's see if I can get us both in whilst we're close together.
Well,
Okay, fantastic. There you go.
I want more of you in so that, you know, there we go. I move this way. There. Okay. All right.
We're in.
We're in. We're very
Okay,
in.
Great.
All right. Push and play.
Push and
Welcome back, my loves. I have a very special guest for you today. Shaft Uddin, how are you?
I'm amazing. I'm happy to be here. I thought I was going to be doing this from my bedroom, but it's nice to get out the house, is what I always say.
So I had a dear friend suggested that I try and find you at Burning Man, and it actually happened.
Oh.
Isn't that fun? At the Mystic Camp, I found you.
Mystic.
Yeah. I sat down right in front of you. I was like, "Are you Shaft?"
And I wasn't even wearing a unicorn horn.
No, you weren't.
I was actually, I made the effort to be not in any costume.
Huh. How come? That day or the whole time?
I'm working through some inner work around confidence, and I said to myself, I want my body to be my costume.
Ooh.
So when I was at Burning Man, I had a great body. I did a lot of work on myself, and I was camping with Vishen Lakiani from
Yes.
Valley,
Beautiful.
and he was pretty inspired by the fact that I would just be topless all day, every day, and wear one pair of harem pants, and I looked great.
You did?
Yeah, so he went on a little journey himself, and now he's looking hot as fuck.
I love it. I met Vishen in Croatia at Baby Bathwater Institute. Yeah, it was very special. All right, my friend. So you are, as your audience knows, but mine may not, you are a speaker, a coach, a somatic trauma release therapist, a transformational entertainer, and a viral content creator. I can see why. You're very entertaining. And we are going to talk about how being sexy is the highest form of enlightenment.
Wow, we're going there.
We are. But before we go there, I want to hear about your mission to find world peace through intimacy. That is beautiful. Please share your thoughts there.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it, and I'm happy I'm on that path. Back in 2014, not a lot of people were doing Tantra, hardly anyone. And it was my mission to make it trendy. I wanted, like in England, there's not a lot of sexy, open people wanting to be liberated and sexy. So when I was going into the rabbit hole of Tantra, a lot of people were a little bit larger, a little bit older, in their 60s, 70s. Well, when I say 60s, when I met the tantric women who were 60, they were super young. But in England, they were not. So there just wasn't many sexy people there. And before that...
Wait, that's why they drink so much.
Yeah.
My theory.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's when they feel sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there is no social anxiety, there is nothing when you're drunk. It's like,
Right.
let's go.
Yeah.
And all Brits are super open when they're drunk.
Yeah.
It's not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
Not a pretty sight. So I went down the sober path, and it was a lot of inner work. When your whole identity is built on drink, drugs, and not having social anxiety, to not drinking, not taking drugs, and how do you connect to people? And I found that finding that simple human interaction and connection and intimacy was one of the things everyone's craving for, and a sense of belonging and having a bit of purpose. So before that, I started a unicorn movement that went global, reached billions of people. The reason why there was a period in history where lots of mugs, t-shirts, caps, pencils, books were written about unicorns was because me, Shaft Uddin, decided to make it popular culture.
Really?
So I repackaged it for Tantra.
What?
And a video I created reached like 17 million people. 17 million people back in 2017 is a lot of people. And it just got re-released a couple of years ago, and it's like 30 million now, and it's on a major news channel. So a lot of people know about Tantra, and I really wanted to be well known and well regarded and a position of authority in the world of Tantra, and I did it like that.
Wow. How the unicorn? How did that come?
Oh, that's another podcast. So yeah, my mission was to find world peace through intimacy, because like I don't believe in a lot of stuff. Like I don't believe in past life regressions. I don't believe in human design. Just stuff doesn't add up to me mathematically. But my whole business is built on my human design, and my online course, InstantSexGirl.com, is built on my past life regression. But anyway, moving forward.
InstantSexGirl.com.
Oh
my. That's fabulous.
All of the women told me to help men. Like I've been helping women with my work for a really long time, and I got really famous by becoming the world's #1 Yoni Massage in the world because of that viral video. So I was busy, and I got this
playing with Yonis. What a job!
What a job! I did burn out though.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a really long burnout. I couldn't use my body for about 3 years. And I've still been recovering from it. The emotional impact that it had was a really big one.
Fascinating.
Yeah, like when your whole identity is built around your body, and you're using your body to help others, and you're a dancer, and you're a masseuse, and you have developed all these ways to make love, and your body attracts the women that you make love with. If you can't use it anymore, you get sad, fat, and lonely. And then you have to start working on finding a way to heal the body that you broke. And now I'm very good at helping a lot of people overcome pain, understanding pain, breathing through pain. Like it was a deep work that I had to go through. It's more like painful than the first awakening I had. First awakening was pretty easy. It's actually pretty fun. It's all documented in another Vice documentary, which we won't talk about in this one. But the world peace through intimacy comes from my human design reading. That's my...
That you don't believe in.
I don't believe it. That my other business, SacredSexualAwakening.com, is all based around helping women, and the women told me to help the men, and now I'm helping men.
Wow. Okay.
I could do things for my dick, basically, that men can't. I thought everyone could
you
do
gotta
this.
go there. Like what?
What kind of doctor are you?
Well, I want an explorative one. What?
Then I got some riddles for you.
What can you do with your penis that nobody else can?
So, coming into a place like Austin, I thought every man knows how to pleasure a woman, and every man knows how to last forever in bed. Every man's overcome erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation. They know how to separate the orgasm and ejaculation, and they know how to be present with a woman. Like that's just basic knowledge where I'm coming from.
No.
What? What do you mean? I thought everyone.
No, separating the orgasm from the ejaculation is, I believe, a practice in itself. No.
It is, but it's a very ancient tantric practice. Lots of monks do it. It takes many years by yourself to learn how to do it. I discovered it and I was like, oh, that sounds like a fun trick. I wonder if I could do that.
Yeah.
So I gave it a go, and I did it after 1 year and 8 months of hard practice. A lot of helpful women. If you have one lingam massage by a powerful bikini, you will be able to overcome erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. A bit like if a woman has anorgasmia, or pain, numbness, or lack of sensation, or an overly sensitive cervix, or pain while she has sex, or a lot of menstrual pain, if they just have a Yoni massage by chef, then it will also go. So it's like these very simple techniques that it's very ancient, very old, and very common where I'm from. Like these things, these massage practices that allow you to get out of your head, into your body, release the trauma. The issues are in the tissues. It's a very simple method, you just won't have any of these problems anymore when you become multi-orgasmic, like men and women. And if you search like energy orgasms, men and women can have energy orgasms. They always show a lot of women and men holding space for these women to have pleasure. It makes men think that they can't receive it, or they can't have it. They have to always give women pleasure. I'm like, guys, you can also feel this. It's an option. Like, really? I thought we were meant to give. No. You've been brainwashed by the goddess empowerment industry. Because women in the goddess empowerment industry are told to be goddesses. And this is why a lot of women don't find men, and they use these words, I just want to be met. There's no industry where the gods are being trained to be gods. So there's a big imbalance, and I'm here to bring balance to the Yoni force.
I find I have the opposite experience, where I am more concerned about the man's experience, and I expect the men to finish and I may not. Not saying that's right, I'm just saying like that is kind of the underlying thoughts that I have.
That's the West.
Yeah.
In the East, we're taught to worship women. It's all about female orgasm. So we're all trained to be present, be devotional for the woman, make her feel safe so she could open up her heart, and then when she opens up her heart, she could open up her yoni, and the word yoni means sacred space in Sanskrit, the oldest Sanskrit word for vulva. And no one really, like, have you heard of the word yoni? Of course. Everyone's heard of the word yoni because Tantra is super trendy. But have you heard of the word lingam?
No.
Of course you haven't, because no one's talking about it. Because the goddess empowerment industry has brainwashed everyone into thinking women are the goddesses, women have yonis, gotta make them feel safe. Then all women are complaining, where are the good men? Why can't I find any emotionally available men? And so on and so on. It's because no one's being taught about the stuff around penises. So the word lingam means the shaft of light, and my name is Shaft. Exactly. No coincidence. So that is translated into a man having a conscious cock. It's known as a healing tool. Now I've seen a lot of viral videos where men are shouting at other men, saying men are going around saying their dicks are healing tools. That's wrong, that's just spaghetti talk. So men are getting shamed for even having a slight awareness that their penises are powerful. And now I always joke, women, where did you get all your trauma from? Men's penises. Now where can you heal your trauma from? Well, probably where you got traumatized from, men's penises. So this is what I train men and women to do.
Wow.
How to have peace amongst men and women. How to create a communication where women and men can come together with a relaxed nervous system. When there isn't trauma, what else is there? There's play, curiosity, fun, evolution, growth and pleasure, and peace.
Beautiful. What are some of your healing techniques for trauma?
So I mentioned earlier the Yoni dearmoring technique. It's a trigger point release inside the yoni. It's a 2-hour process. It used to be an 8-hour process. Now just imagine someone having your fingers inside of you for 8 hours. You can't imagine it, right?
No, it's a long time.
I remember when I got into this practice, the art of yoni worship, and I told one of my unicorn friends, I'm doing this practice, so we do this thing for 8 hours. And he has a lot of sex, and he goes to a lot of sex parties, so he's a bit of a master in the old sex. But he can't even understand, what am I doing? He said, are you just finger banging someone for 10 minutes and watching Netflix after? Because his brain can't even understand, what are you doing? What are you actually doing?
What are you doing for 8 hours?
So I'm doing a method called a trigger point release where I'm from, they actually call me Dr. Shaft on the island, or the Yoni Whisperer. So I could actually, these hands have been inside of thousands of women, for 9 years. If you're going to be present in front of a vagina for 9 years with these hands inside of someone, remember in for a session. This is like an actual treatment.
Yeah.
Usually, I'm their last resort. The doctors can't help them. Talking therapy can't help them. And everyone around them is saying, hey, you should do breath work, you should do yoga, then Tantra pops up. Then Tantra's all around. In the West, it's all about sex. So their problem is around their vagina. They're in pain. No one can help them. So they type in the word Tantra or Sacred Sexual Awakening or something along that lines. My face pops up because I've done 9 years worth of content around Tantra. So I'm an authority in my tiny little bubble. You just go to any Tantra festival, I'm headlining the festival. Like I'm like a big person in a small pond. But now I'm getting out of that bubble to go even more mainstream, and I feel like I could help more people there.
Good.
So the method is they come into a container, they've signed a form, they've seen the website, they've read the frequently asked questions. SacredSexualAwakening.com. Check it out. It's a whole thing. So I make sure that they've invested time in themselves. They know exactly what's going to happen. It's like a 4-stage process. And in that process, they come in, they already know what's going to happen now, because it's very clear, very transparent. They filled in the form, so I've got all the stories, so they don't have to, no talking therapy needs to be done. I've got the stories, it's like, great. I've got their intention, even better. So I've got a lot of data, and when I listen to people's stories, already my brain is going, oh, they need this, they need that, and they need that. Boom, done, easy. So when they come in, I get them to sit down. We set an even bigger container, so we talk about what is your fears for this yoni, what is your intention for this yoni de-arming session, and they write it down on a bit of paper. But they have to do it in a small Twitter-sized feed. And so it's an I am statement. So this becomes my prayer for them. So I'm seeding it into their body. So let's say, and we don't want to focus on the pain words, like, I want to overcome pain. It's like, okay, we want to do the reverse of that. It's like, I feel liberated.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
so
Experience
not
pleasure.
putting those words into the space.
Yeah.
So let's just say, I want to feel deeper orgasmic bliss and feel fully liberated. Because a lot of people come in with fear, guilt, and shame around sexuality. So what I do is, that's my prayer. Then we talk about the fears, desires, boundaries. Obviously they know what's going to happen anyway, so it's very clear. Sexual health, when was the last time I got tested? Have I had unprotected sex? Have I ever had anything? Also, this is on the form. And what this session means to you. So it's the rules of engagement. And from there we do a letting go ritual, so they let go of their clothing with every item. They say, I let go of fear, I let go of self-doubt. They get naked, I keep my clothes on. I have my special work leggings. And a little strap around my shoulders because obviously I was burnt out and I had a crack in my neck, so I was going to take care of my body. And then we go into the practice. I apply a thing called conscious touch, which I help the person regulate the nervous system by coming from a space of presence and unconditional love. If you've ever seen Avatar, where they connect to the other animal.
Yes.
And that's kind of what we're doing when we touch someone. Now, a woman hasn't really felt that. A woman would often feel somebody go and then tweak the nipples and then finger the vagina and have sex. It's like you only touch someone if you want something. So it's always a taking touch. So a woman, you guys feel everything.
Yeah.
And my mission is to make you feel more, but also feel safe. But also allow yourself to fully surrender and you don't have to do anything back. So I'm actually not taking anything from you. I'm actually worshipping you, being in the space of reverence, but also connecting with you with unconditional love. And it's a beautiful practice. It's a great way to, even with your partner, to practice conscious touch. Like it's a whole process in itself. Like that one practice, I was able to save my father's life when he had a stroke.
Wow.
That's how powerful touch is.
Wow, beautiful.
So once I do that, work on her body, help her relax. I ask consent if it's okay to sit between her legs. Everything is in her power. And once she says yes, it's always going to be a full yes. I sit between her legs and I ask, is it okay to touch the outside of her yoni? And again, I get to tune into her yoni and what does her yoni want to say, rather than thinking, oh, I should be doing this. It's like, and it's very slow. The whole process is super, super slow. And then I place my hand on her yoni, once I got consent, on her heart. And my mission is to build the energy and the connection from her heart down to her yoni and back.
Wow.
From sex to spirit. So it's a somatic connection, but also a neurological connection. The pathways are being built from her head, heart and sex. There's like a proper somatic alignment. And once her heart is open, I do a technique on her heart to open up her heart, and then this will relax, and I'm able to activate the outside of the yoni by de-armoring of these pressure points outside the yoni. And once I feel that loosen, I ask, and you can tell if it's loose because the yoni starts to open up like a flower.
Really?
Yeah. So you can start to see the outside of the yoni engorging with blood, and it's very obvious when she's ready, but obviously it's her body and my perception. We need to ask if it's real.
Yeah.
So I don't work with assumptions. So I'm like, oh, I can see it, and I can see, you know, moisture coming out and things like that. And I'm like, I'm at the outside. I'm at the gate of your temple. Would you like to invite me in? And she'd be like, yes. So I spend a lot of time on the outside, opening the outer labias, the inner labias, activating the clitoris, and just very light touches. And I'm mixing the touches, so it's like firm touches with air touches, with watery touches, a lot of coconut oil. Coconut oil is the superpower of all tantrikas. And once I'm there, I get her to take the power back. So a lot of women are used to being penetrated.
Yeah.
Now I come from a matriarchal society, it's all women. And it's the women that eat up our lingams. So I get them to squeeze, so I'm at the entrance of her vulva, and I get her to squeeze her PC muscles. So when she squeezes and relaxes, she sucks my finger in. So I say, squeeze your PC muscles and relax, squeeze your PC muscles and relax. And in that way, she sucks my finger in.
Ha!
So I'm not penetrating her, she's taking me in.
Wow.
Now, I've met these powerful tantric women who've done the Yoni crystal practice. I come from an island where if you're sat drinking a kombucha, all the women are laughing, no one wears underwear there, so if they laugh so hard, they'll pop out a jade crystal over crystal. It's like an ancient tantric practice. And it's a Taoist practice and a tantric practice as well, the Yoni crystal.
It's like the egg, no?
Pops out, yeah, tiny crystal egg. It's not that tiny. It's 3 sizes. So yeah, there is a practice. Now, I recently saw, not recently, but a couple of years ago, I saw Goop and Gwyneth Paltrow. Her whole industry was sued for lying about Yoni crystal practice.
What? How do you lie about it?
They said that the crystals are dangerous and that this doesn't work. Now, I know it works because I come from a community where we're just doing vagina-based practices and genital-based practices to reach enlightened states.
Wow.
And that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. And it works. Like, I've seen miracles happen. Remember, Tantra is the last resort for a lot of women. Tantra is the last resort for a lot of men. There's a lot of men with erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, and they find the word Tantra, and men are suffering just as much. So, once they suck me into their finger, I hold it there. And I'm not doing the classic things you see in Pornhub. Bam, 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 bam. Like that. I just
jackhammer?
The jackhammer with the hand or with the dick. It just doesn't, I mean, it's just normal in normal life.
Right.
But where we're from, we never use that move. So I just wait and let her nervous system connect to my nervous system, because it's the same as the body, same with Yoni. And then from there, I use my superhuman abilities to feel the inside of her pelvic bowl. Now I've done this so much that I can feel the tension wherever the tension is inside the pelvic bowl. And it's a system that happens, like I'm like, oh, there it is. And do you feel any tension there? And she'll be like, oh yes I do. And I'm like, okay, breathe into this. And it happens like clockwork. You hold on to, with presence and pressure, you hold on to the inside of the pelvic bowl. There's certain muscle groups. And you feel it, and you can feel a tough area, an area of tension. A bit like if you've been hunched over the computer for years, and you have a knot in your back, it's like that. So you press it until the muscle starts spasming. When the muscle starts spasming, you're still holding, they're either screaming, crying, or releasing, or doing nothing, or feeling pleasure. All women are different. They're all completely different. So you hold it, and you're sending unconditional love, you're present, and your senses are in the finger now. And when the muscle starts spasming, they release, and the fibers are there. Then it feels like these, almost like wire fibers. And then you trace it to where they are, and you go back to the spot again. And there's a tiny rest-like ring, and then that slowly vanishes, and all the pain and the tears and the suffering and the stories are released. And then you go, okay, next spot.
Wow.
And it's a whole 3D system inside there. So it's like one part, another part, another part, another part, another part, another part, then the entrance, and then that side, then the sacrum. Now by this time you've got to do this left side of her leg, no, right side of her leg. And then they've got shooting pains on the right side of her leg. Then they're feeling shooting pains in the back of their spine. Then you switch fingers and you go, now that side, that side, that side, and then you go, okay, now we're going to do one final sweep. So that's 2 hours.
Wow.
It's a lot of work. It's labor intensive.
And are you healing like the trauma between the masculine and the feminine, like that, those deep wounds of not trusting the opposite, or how not the opposite?
So that happens subconsciously.
Yeah.
And also, asking her consent all the time, that just doesn't happen. Consent culture isn't a big thing outside of Tantra. So it's unconscious kink. So the fact that I'm consistently asking feedback, consent, checking in with her, seeing how she feels, is a huge thing for her. Now she's got an imprint of a conscious man, and the divine masculine holding space for the feminine, so she can surrender. So something big is happening. So once I've done the trigger point release method, then I always say, okay, now I'm going to take you for a test drive.
Oh.
Because after that pain is pleasure. So then I show them the full potential of the vagina. It's not a big part of that session, because the session could go into the second session. It's a 4-stage session. So then I just see where she is, and because my job is to read body language. I see every nuance of muscle tension or expansion. I see everything on her face, so I could actually read like the arches of her back. If it's a low moan of a, it's like a deep inner orgasmic sensation she's feeling. If she's feeling a higher pitch one, I'm on a clitoral external. Like you could just read women. You do this long enough, there's patterns. So I take her Yoni for a test drive. I allow her to feel more pleasure than she's ever felt in her life, and I'm just there for her. And then at the end we raise up the energy, and the whole process is actually breath work. That's what we're doing. It's breath work through internal massage to release trauma and tension on the inside of a pelvic bowl. I've had miracles happen, like women who had hip pains, women who had pain during birth and it stayed with them, women with lower back pains, women with pain in their psoas. Like it's all being released. Like recently, I was working on a client, and she said, "I think my legs just got longer," and I'm not aware of any of this because I'm just concentrating on the inside of her uni, and I was like, "Let me have a check," and her leg was 1 inch taller. That's how much tension she had, and I was like, I'm gonna have to take a video of this. There you go. And I was like, your leg is actually 1 inch taller. That's crazy.
Wow.
So loads of cool stuff happen.
Wow.
Like women also have, obviously, with that client, I did the other side of the yoga.
Yeah,
so she wasn't like one leg's longer than the other. No. So that's how much tension people are holding there. Once that's released, you can feel more. And then we'll go into the second session, which is the Yoni mapping. So a lot of your audience, do you know your G-spot? Everyone knows that. But do you know your A-spot? That's where all the pleasure is and where the Amrita comes from. I was taught that 98% of women can squirt. Recently, new data's come out, it's 100% of women can squirt. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take that. Cervical orgasms, activating the cervix. If you could have, I call this the holy grail of orgasms. If you could have cervical orgasms by yourself with a partner, then you have a high percentage chance of having an orgasmic birth. That's an option.
Wow.
You can have orgasms as you birth. And I've met so many women who've had orgasmic births and met their children who have had natural births in their homes without any medication or anything.
Wow.
These children are very different from the other
Ah, they came out in bliss.
Exactly.
Ah.
Rather than coming into pain and being in these sterilized environments and
Right.
separated from their moms.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole thing around placenta. There's like a whole experience you can have from conscious births. Womb orgasms, anal orgasms, full body orgasms. Like there's so much potential once you hear about it, but women also feel it. And if men knew simple anatomy, and if women knew their own anatomy, then a lot of people will have a lot more pleasure and will have a lot more peace amongst men. But it takes a responsible woman to stand up and say, hey, the jackhammer you're doing, or hey, that feels great, but it could be even better. Usually a man would reply by saying, hey, nobody else has complained before. Then you say the key magic word, which is, I'm not like everybody else. I'm different. All women are different. How about you do it like this? Then his logical, I want to be a great lover, brain kicks in and goes, oh, okay. How do you like it?
Yeah. I find men want to learn.
Men definitely want to learn.
Yeah, they want to know how you like it.
Men definitely want to learn, but they
want
get
to
shut down.
They want to please.
They definitely want to play. Like our default setting is we want to please our wives, we want to be the best lover, we want to be there like for our wives or partners, like we want to be the best for them.
Yeah.
It's our default setting. But if we're not spoken to in the right way, and if we're shut down by a woman in a very vulnerable state, our inner child gets hurt and we become defensive as well.
Yeah.
So communication is the best communication.
I love that. That's beautiful. This all makes sense to why a lot of women have trouble having an orgasm.
It's actually not a problem. That's why women with anorgasmia, they're the easiest clients to help. Because no one's touched them in the right way. Like I had a 50-year-old client as her birthday and she wanted to experience something. And I work a lot at Tantra festivals, so like when you're at Tantra festivals you're a bit more open. And she wanted an experience. So I'm a healer at Tantra festivals and I gave her a session and she said the only time she's had an orgasm, she's never had an orgasm, the only time she's had sex was the birth of her, procreate, to have the birth of her first child and second child. So she's had sex twice in like the whole expanse of her life. Wow. She was a little bit sexy though. I was like, the stories don't match. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I knew like when I meet someone and it's their birthday and they treat themselves to a session with me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a new sensation in your body. That's it. You're going to feel something new that you haven't felt in your body before. So the expectation's pretty low, but I know how far to take her.
Yeah.
So she comes to me and I awaken her body, do the whole treatment and everything like that. But at Tantra festivals, they're a bit more higher level. So they've already had the dhyan rings and things like that, so we could play. So the third session after Yoni dhyan ring, Yoni mapping, which is understanding a woman's pleasure pathways and analysing the data, retaining all the data. And for the third session, we have a Shakti surrender session. That's where you could have fun. You could throw them around and do all these amazing tantric KAMASUTRA moves.
Ooh.
But you need a lot of trust, and I need to feel safe around this woman that she could be strong in her boundaries to say yes or no. Like I said, at Tantra festivals, we've done a lot of steps to get to those states already. That's not a problem really. So I see the way she moves, and every time I touch the inside of her left labia, she has these electric shocks going through her. Again, I'm analysing the data, reading her body language. So it's like, oh, place it on my index finger and my thumb, and every time I do this, like it's almost like massaging your earlobe. She's getting activated, and I'm like, this could be fun. So once you work through trauma, once you let go of tension, once you know the woman's pleasure pathways, then you could play a woman like an instrument and you could have a lot of fun. Now, we forget about fun, we forget about pleasure. There's so much performance anxiety. So with this woman, she's like fully activated. I was like, this woman doesn't seem like a woman who's only had sex twice. There's something going on here. So I work with her body. She goes into these orgasmic states, and then she goes into shamanic state. This is where they completely go to another dimension. It's a psychedelic state. Lots of DMT's been released by this point. Go to high states of consciousness. You reach the oneness state, or God. You know when a woman is reaching God, when they say these words when they're reaching orgasmic states. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Natural state. It's a natural state for women. And I can see her doing the things that are very witchy. Is what I say. She's dropping into a priestess energy. And I can see that because all women do the same stuff in these spaces.
What do they do?
They do these mudras, and these are like corporate women. These are like hard-ass women in New York, like being in their masculine. But when women open up, they do these things with their hands. It's like clockwork. It's like a witchy energy, priestess energy, bikini energy. And I'm a dude, I also do that as well. So it happens to all humans. When a kundalini energy is refined and harnessed, it's a beautiful thing rather than lots of spasms happening and no one knows what's going on. It's like, it's a beautiful, pleasurable thing. These are just mudras that you end up doing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so she starts doing this. Oh, long story short, she comes back, we close the space, have a sharing. She says, yeah, I feel like taking ayahuasca. I was like, have you done a lot of ayahuasca? Because it seems like you've done some stuff. Someone who has only had sex twice doesn't move like that. She said, yes. I've done ayahuasca like 20 times. I'm like, that's why you're open. That's why your kundalini is fully open. This is why you're able to open up so easily. So I've met a lot of psychedelic therapists, people who've taken mushrooms, or even gone to Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshops.
Yeah.
Their kundalini gets activated, and they don't know what it is.
Yeah, they're squeezing the perineum, right?
He's teaching Tantra. It's all Tantra. And I just went to A-Fest just now. They all talk about Tantra. All the high level people, they're all doing it. It's like some kind of missing link in spirituality, yoga. It's like, yeah, the cool stuff's down there. So once you actually connect, like a lot of people when they come to this, they're like, from the heart upwards. Gonna heal the heart, gonna heal myself, gonna close the container, I need to be by myself. No, I'm not going to connect to anyone. have a womb cleanse. Got to be by myself in my own energy.
Womb cleanse.
And you know, they pray for the perfect man to show up, and you know, they'll be healed when the perfect man shows up. Yeah, that doesn't work. So another way to do it is connecting to your sexual energy, opening up your root chakra, your swadhisthana, connecting up your willpower, your manipura, then the heart. How about you see the chakra system like a computer game, but from the bottom, work your way up, so you're actually fully integrated. And then how about start having lots of amazing intimate relationships and work on building that muscle of being in a good, healthy relationship with incredible people. That's peace. That's world peace with intimacy.
So beautiful. It's a celebration of joy and bliss and and healing of trauma.
Exactly. Together, when it's intentional. When men have sex with women, sometimes women cry. No one knows why that is. It's because you're reaching those trigger point parts of the yoni, and they release. And even the women don't know why they cry. And the man thinks he's done something wrong, and they both shut down.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. If a woman has a man that's kind of in the jackhammer state, right? But he wants
It's a very tantric state, the jackhammer
the
state.
jackhammer state. You're gonna use that all the time now. How should she go about suggesting, or do you start with some tantra classes? Like, what do you suggest for a couple, or even,
I mean, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been the guy who loves the jackhammer state.
I mean, it's also pleasurable at times,
Exactly.
but just not right from the get-go.
Exactly. Let's say sex is an orchestra, and it's a symphony, and the jackhammer is like maybe the crescendo, which lasts. The crescendo doesn't last that long, right?
Right.
So let's say the jackhammer can be used. There's nothing wrong with the jackhammer. It can be very pleasurable, but it can be used as, you know, a bit of a crescendo. But a crescendo happens multiple times in the symphony. So there's all these other states you could be in. And if men and women knew that other spectrums of love, let's say love is a rainbow, sex is a rainbow. Everyone's stuck in the red part of the spectrum, which is Pornhub, jackhammer, like male ejaculation focus. Now we're missing red, green, yellow, and all the other spectrum, and the other spectrum is incredible.
Yeah.
So my job is to educate people around how to get out the jackhammer, how to get out of the missionary man on top, woman on top, doggy style, and also when they're feeling a bit fruity, the reverse cowbell. That's just 4 moves. I've developed the Sacred Sexual Jedi Academy. You can check that out on instantsexgod.com. Now I've developed a whole array of KAMASUTRA moves on my Instagram or YouTube at Uddin. You can find my tantric advent calendars. Every year I do 25 sex moves leading up to Christmas. And I've done that for 3 years. So I think that's 75 different moves.
Wow.
I've got the Shafti Sutra. I've got all these
Shafti Sutra.
I've got all these different methods on how to actually connect deeper with your partner. I go around the world going to these Tantra festivals. You name a country and you put the word Tantra festival, Sweden Tantra Festival, Stockholm Tantra Festival, Amsterdam Tantra Festival. Like, there's Tantra festivals all around the world. So I'm teaching at those festivals. I'm kind of like, I'm upgrading, I'm graduating from that world. If anyone knows of any seminars, conferences, workshops, or places where I could teach more people on a bigger stage, DM me. I want to get out of my little bubble where people are good in that bubble, like people are just ready to play. The fact that no one knows energy orgasms, separating the ejaculation and the orgasm, knowing where the A spot is, how to release Amrita, the cervical orgasms, like Kundalini area inside of the yoni, like there's a whole bunch of stuff that people need to be educated about.
Yeah.
And I want to help as many people as I can.
I love it.
Can I help 1 million men overcome erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation? Yes, I can, because I've scientifically done it to my own body. And if I could get science-backed data who could analyze my body to show how powerful my orgasm is compared to my ejaculation, then I've got some proof that could be the killer of Viagra. I could become the Wim Hof of Tantra. I could break some records around having the most amount of orgasms in a space of a time, which are just as powerful as an ejaculation. This year I'm only going to be ejaculating one time, August the 16th.
Oh.
Last 2 years ago I ejaculated only 3 times, and on my YouTube channel you can see my, on the Shaft Show, you can see the 3rd time I made love. But I did a little ritual where I ejaculated into my partner. She has menopause, so she identifies herself as an oracle, and she's super young. Like, she's got a body of a 20-year-old because she does tantra.
Why August 16th?
I thought, well, I was going to do it exactly halfway through the year. My maths and dates are terrible. I thought August the 16th was halfway through the year, but it's not.
It's 8.
January. Yeah, exactly. I'm terrible at this. It's June, it's next month.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't even need to, like, June's super easy to get to.
That's
it's just like in a couple of weeks.
hilarious. You are classic. I love it. Alright, so I want to bring it back to how is being sexy the highest form of enlightenment to you?
It's a great question. So, a lot of people are functioning in fear. The inner talk is, I hate myself, I hate my body, I'm not enough. Base level.
Yeah.
Base level. That's humanity.
Yeah.
Can I get a oh yeah for that?
Oh yeah.
That's everybody. Now, if you do a bit of work through yoga, meditation, tantra, plant medicine, or whatever you're doing, you're going to be okay with yourself. You're going to be slightly okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to be great, because you're only going to do it one time and go back to work again.
No, you'll point out your flaws and then correct yourself and point out things you love about yourself. You have the tools.
Exactly.
But you're still pointing out the flaws.
Exactly. So you're getting to a base level of awareness. Now you know rather than not know.
Yeah.
Then you do a bit more work. And now from being a little bit aware, you become very aware. You're conscious, you're a little bit self-realized. And now you start doing the work to become just base level happy. That's the normal state, but the amount of work you have to get from being a human in the Western world and the whole of society just to get to being okay with yourself is probably £30,000 worth of therapy right now.
Wow.
I'm saying that because that's how I'm trying to explain. And then from there, you change your inner monologue from I hate my life to I love my life, from hating your body to loving your body, from most of all hating yourself to loving yourself. Then you're in a state of, let's say, you're not at joy yet. You're happier.
You're content.
You're content. Almost. Gratitude.
There you go.
Okay.
Right.
You're in a space of gratitude. Now, I was depressed for a really long time. When people say gratitude, it didn't make sense. Because, like, I was addicted to the past. The word gratitude, I never felt it. It's impossible to feel it when you hate everything from the past. And even when you see the lessons, you can't come into a state of gratitude because you can't feel it in your body. It took me a lot of time to actually feel what it felt like, to finally go, oh my God, I'm so happy that happened. It took years of therapy to get to that state. So now you can actually practice gratitude, be thankful, be okay with yourself, be a little bit of joy now in your life. And then you discover Tantra.
Then you go to bliss states.
Then you go to bliss states.
Oh.
Yes, you go into bliss states, ecstasy. You discover things like ecstatic dance and all the higher states of devotional singing. You start to open up the heart. You start to feel more. Your heart expands. You have orgasms in your heart, heartgasms, and you start to feel joy. And you start to laugh more. And you start to play more, and you start to go to that place where you were before the age of 8, from 0 to 7. That's who you really were. that childlike curiosity for life. Now you go, what else is possible? Then you become a conscious creator. Then you start having Yoni Massage, lingam activation, and you start feeling sexual energy again. Then you start having conscious sex, sacred sex. You turn matrix sex into sacred sex. Then you start feeling more sexual aliveness. You start to harness your sexual energy. Then you realize, oh, hang on. Like once you start doing this work, age, you start to reverse aging. You start to get younger, healthier, sexier. Where I'm from, like, I haven't seen anyone wear makeup for such a long time because your bodies are just ripped from all the yoga, all the ecstatic dance, all the lovemaking, all the devotional singing, all the cacao ceremonies. Like, it's just non-stop bliss state. So you genuinely get younger. Like, I'm 43.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get younger once I get great hair. Gotta sort that out.
You already have great hair. You're obsessed.
It can always be better. So yes, then you start to feel sexy. Now, sex is important. Like, I've been in a lot of enlightened states. A lot of people are seeking enlightenment. I've done it. I had a nice time. There's more to life than just seeking enlightenment. You could really reach enlightenment quite easily. It's not a state I need to get to by meeting the Dalai Lama and sitting in meditation. I could just get it in 2 seconds now if I want. Like, it's very simple. It's like not a problem. So once you get to these enlightened states, the key is, just like orgasms, how long can you stretch it for? Eckhart Tolle talks about the gaps between the thoughts, being in a state of enlightenment or meditation. I scale that with orgasm. If you could extend the gaps between the thoughts, and I could have an empty mind for a really, 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 really long time, then how can you extend the orgasm? And when you can extend the orgasm for a really, really, really long time, you start to feel sexy. And sexiness is charisma, magnetism. You become a very good speaker. You start to command an audience. You start to have big impact. Now, I've been hanging around with millionaires and the wellness rock stars, and they're sexy as fuck. They're super sexy because they know how to harness their sexual energy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not something I ever talk about. I'm in the inner circle now, so I get to see how they are. They're super sexy, super fun, hilarious. And the reason why they like having me around is because I also have a thing that they have, which is I don't judge anyone.
Huge.
Big thing. That's the ultimate price of freedom. Is once you become yourself, everyone will judge you. But the key is to be so in love with yourself and feel so sexy it doesn't hurt you anymore.
Yeah. Beautiful. You're not judging you, and then therefore you don't judge others, right?
Yeah, when you get judged, like, I mean, I look weird. So
You do not look weird.
I do not look weird. So I get told by certain people I have to dress differently.
What?
No. I'm easily moldable and I'm adaptable, so I will do whatever it takes to get to the mainstream.
Oh my god, no.
So I got a Zara t-shirt.
Stop it. Stop.
I feel more comfortable in Texas, in Austin, so I'm wearing my own harem pants that I design myself, and I've got a bit of my own character in it. But yeah, I do have to change it.
No, the opposite. That's what makes you stand out, and it makes you unique and more desirable.
It's true, but I'm working through. I'm navigating different worlds.
I told you when I first met you a couple days ago that we had crossed paths. I had been walking for 3 hours on the trail. I had crossed all sorts of different people, and you were the only person. I crossed you, and I almost turned back around and ran after you because I was like, "Who are you?" Like, I wanted to know who you were. Right? I got such a strong hit. And so, no, please don't change. The opposite. Shine brighter in your unique version.
And I will, but I've learned to be this version of Shaf for corporate gigs. I have to be this version of Shaf for well, I have to be myself in all the other places. So that's easy. But I do want to work in corporate. I do want to go back into normal society. I do want to have bigger audiences and bigger stages. So, again, I'm fully flexible now, so it doesn't bother me. Whatever it takes is
Ah, Shafter, such a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
One of my favorite, and the only question I ask every one of my guests is if little 6-year-old Shafter is sitting next to you right now, what would you tell him?
I'm gonna say 2 words, very simple. Buy Bitcoins.
I love it. That's hilarious.
See, the tantric people don't give a fuck. We just like to dick about. It's fun.
Where are you from? All these they're so pleasurable. You were telling me, you were saying that this area where women have the crystals in them and they're always laughing.
Copenhagen. I could actually expose these areas now. So that there's Copenhagen, Goa, Ängsbacka in Sweden, Helsinki's amazing. That's one of my favorites. Tulum. It's all these vortexes. Austin's one of them.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. I thought there was one little place in India that all these women are just ecstatic.
It's tiny vortexes, and we do have to stay away from society, because if spiritual people saw what we were doing, they would say we're witchy people, and where I come from, witches are the highest priestesses. So you do have to be careful sometimes where you. I've faced a lot of judgment, and it can be a bit tricky.
Wow.
I feel more comfortable just like hiding with my community and staying there, but it's time to get out and go mainstream. So people like us don't get judged anymore.
Right, and you heal. You're healing the planet.
Some people don't know it's an option. Some people don't want to heal as well. And I don't work with those people. I just work with like super successful people who want to get even more successful than Holland. They're ready. I don't have to preach to anybody. I'd rather not fight resistance. I'd rather just be in a nice state of, yay, Shaf's it.
Which is, I think, how most people greet you.
That's true.
You're so delightful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What a treat.
What a great way to start my morning.
I loved it. Thank you. You're a blessing. Thank you for what you're doing. It's really important. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you.
So for my audience,
Yeah.
where can my audience find you?
Legends.
Legends.
With Dr. Nikki.
With Dr. Nikki. What kind of doctor are you, Dr. Nikki?
My brain was very glitchy at the end. I am a PhD in holistic health and nutrition.
Health and nutrition, doctor. Wow.
Yeah, we're still live.
We're still live. So everybody,
Hi, my loves.
I'll see you for another episode of The Shaf Show. And this has been a beautiful morning with Dr. Nikki.
You look so cute.